There comes a moment in every person's life. A moment that doesn't look dramatic. Doesn't feel like failure. Doesn't sound like a breaking point. It's quiet. No one claps. No one notices. No one even asks what happened. But this is the stage where most dreams quietly die. Not in chaos. Not in one big mistake. Not because of one failure. But slowly, silently, and almost invisibly. You don't wake up one day and say, "I'm giving up on my dream." No. It happens differently. You wake up tired. You feel a little less motivated. You delay your plans by one day, then another, then another. You start saying things like, "Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I'll try later." And just like that, your dream doesn't crash. It fades. This stage is dangerous. Because it feels normal. You're not in pain. You're not struggling hard. You're just comfortable. And comfort is where ambition goes to sleep. At the beginning, you were hungry. You had fire. You had vision. You had belief. You said, "I'm going to change my life. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to become something more." And you meant it. But then reality showed up. Progress became slow. Results didn't come fast. People didn't support you the way you expected. And suddenly, the dream that once excited you started to feel heavy. This is the stage where most people stop pushing. Not because they can't continue, but because they're tired of waiting. Tired of working without results. Tired of believing without proof. Tired of being the only one who sees the vision. And here's the truth no one tells you. This stage is not the end. This stage is the test. Because anyone can chase a dream when it's exciting. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated. Anyone can believe when things are going well. But very few people can keep going when nothing is happening. This is where the real separation begins. Not between talented and untalented. Not between lucky and unlucky. But between those who keep going and those who slowly let go. At this stage, your mind will start to betray you. It will whisper, "This is pointless. You're wasting time. Other people are moving ahead. You should just settle." And the scary part? It sounds logical. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like the smart choice. Because quitting doesn't always feel like failure. Sometimes it feels like relief. Relief from pressure. Relief from uncertainty. Relief from effort. But what you don't realize is, you're not just quitting the struggle. You're quitting the future you once believed in. Think about it. The life you wanted. The person you wanted to become. The goals you once stayed awake thinking about. They don't disappear in one moment. They disappear in small decisions. Choosing comfort over growth. Choosing excuses over action. Choosing later over now. And one day, you wake up, and the dream is gone. Not because it was impossible, but because you stopped feeding it. Dreams don't die because of failure. They die because of neglect. Let that sink in. You didn't fail. You just stopped trying long enough for the dream to fade. But here's the part most people miss. If a dream can fade slowly, it can also come back to life the same way. That fire you once had, it's not gone. It's buried. Under doubt. Under fear. Under delay. And all it takes is one decision. One moment of honesty. One choice to say, "I'm not done yet." You don't need to feel motivated. You don't need perfect clarity. You don't need support from everyone. You just need to start again. Because this stage, this quiet, invisible stage, is not where your story ends. It's where your real story begins. The people you admire, the ones who made it, the ones who built something meaningful, they all stood where you are right now. They all felt the same doubt, the same fatigue, the same temptation to quit. But they did something different. They didn't wait to feel ready again. They moved anyway. They worked when it was boring. They showed up when it was hard. They kept going when nothing was changing. And slowly, very slowly, things started to shift. Because success doesn't come from big moments. It comes from surviving this stage. The stage where no one is watching. The stage where results are invisible. The stage where giving up feels easier than continuing. If you can push through this, you become unstoppable. Because once you learn to move without motivation, nothing can control you anymore. So if you're in this stage right now, feeling stuck, feeling lost, feeling like nothing is working, good. You're closer than you think. This is not where your dream dies. This is where most people's dreams die. But you don't have to be most people. You can choose differently. You can decide. I didn't come this far to stop here. And maybe today, you don't need to change everything. Maybe you don't need a perfect plan. Maybe all you need is to take one small step forward. Because dreams don't need perfection to survive. They need consistency. Keep going. Even when it's slow. Even when it's hard. Even when no one notices. Because one day, the same stage that almost broke you will become the reason you made it. And you'll look back and realize your dream didn't die here. It was reborn. There's something you need to understand. This stage you're in right now, it's not random. It's not bad luck. It's not the universe working against you. It's resistance. Because every dream, every real, meaningful, life-changing dream, comes with a price. And that price is who you have to become to achieve it. At the beginning, you were chasing the dream. Now, the dream is shaping you. This is the part no one prepares for. You thought the journey would test your skills. But it's testing your patience. You thought it would require effort. But it's demanding discipline. You thought it would be about winning. But it's really about not quitting. And this is exactly why most people fall off. Because they don't fail the dream. They fail the process. They underestimate how long it takes. They underestimate how lonely it gets. They underestimate how many times they'll question themselves. Let's be real. Nobody talks about the silent nights where you sit there thinking, is this even worth it? Nobody talks about the moments where you see others moving ahead and you feel like you're standing still. Nobody talks about the frustration of giving your best and getting nothing in return. This is the emotional weight of a dream. And most people aren't ready to carry it. So what do? They adjust. They shrink their goals. They lower their expectations. They convince themselves this is enough. But deep down, they know the truth. They didn't stop because they were satisfied. They stopped because they were tired. And there's a difference. A big one. Because being tired means you still care. It means the dream is still alive inside you. It means there's still something pulling you forward, even if you're trying to ignore it. So don't confuse exhaustion with the end. It's not over. You're just in the middle. And the middle is messy. There's no clarity. No guarantees. No applause. Just you. And the decision you keep making every day. Do I continue, or do I quit? Let me tell you something honestly. Quitting will make your life easier. Right now, you'll feel lighter. Less pressure. Less stress. You'll finally rest. But later, it costs you everything. Because regret doesn't show up immediately. It waits. It waits until you see someone else living the life you once dreamed of. It waits until you realize you were closer than you thought. It waits until you understand you didn't run out of ability. You ran out of persistence. And that realization, it hits hard. So the question is not, is this difficult? Of course it is. The real question is this dream worth the difficulty? Because if it is, then your current struggle is not a problem. It's part of the deal. You don't get growth without discomfort. You don't get success without resistance. You don't get transformation without pressure. Think about this. Coal only becomes diamond under pressure. And right now, you're under pressure for a reason. Not to break you, but to build you. But that only happens if you stay. If you quit now, you go back to where you started. And when you started, you were desperate to be where you are now. Don't forget that. There was a time you wished for this opportunity. A time you prayed for this chance. A time you said, if I just get the chance, I'll give everything. Well, this is the chance. It doesn't look glamorous. It doesn't feel exciting. But this is it. This is the part where you prove you meant what you said. Because dreams don't respond to words. They respond to consistency. You can talk about success all day. But if your actions don't match, the dream slowly disconnects from you. And here's the truth most people avoid. You don't lose your dream in one big moment. You lose it in small daily choices. Choosing sleep over effort. Choosing distraction over discipline. Choosing fear over action. Not once, but repeatedly. Until one day, you're no longer the person who chases that dream. That's how it dies. Quietly. But listen carefully. If that's how dreams die, then that's also how they survive. Small daily choices. Repeated. Consistently. It doesn't take something huge. It takes something regular. Show up today. Do the work. Even if it's small. Show up tomorrow. Do it again. And again. Because momentum doesn't come from intensity. It comes from repetition. And once you build momentum, everything changes. Suddenly, things start to move. Opportunities appear. Confidence grows. Results begin to show. But none of that happens if you stop in this stage. This stage is the gate. Most people turn back here. But if you walk through it, you enter a different level. A level where discipline replaces motivation. Where belief replaces doubt. Where action becomes automatic. And at that point, success is no longer a question. It's just a matter of time. So don't quit here. Not now. Not after everything you've already done. You didn't come this far just to become average. You didn't struggle this much just to settle. You're here because something inside you refuses to accept an ordinary life. Don't silence that voice. Feed it. Protect it. Act on it. Because one day, this phase you're struggling in right now will be the story you tell. The story of how you almost quit, but didn't. The story of how it got hard, but you got stronger. The story of how your dream didn't die, because you refused to let it. At some point, you have to stop asking, "Why is this so hard?" and start asking, "Who do I need to become to handle this?" Because the truth is simple. Your current version cannot hold your future success. That's not an insult. That's reality. The discipline you need, you don't fully have it yet. The mindset you need, it's still developing. The resilience required, is still being built. And this stage, this painful, confusing, frustrating stage, is the training ground. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think they're stuck. They think they're failing. They think nothing is working. But what's really happening is, they're being rebuilt. Slowly. Quietly. Internally. You don't always see growth when it's happening. Just like you don't see muscles growing in the gym every day. But that doesn't mean nothing is changing. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're changing. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're changing. Every time you refuse to quit, you're changing. And one day, all those invisible changes become visible results. But only if you stay consistent long enough. This is where patience becomes power. Because right now, you're planting seeds. And seeds don't grow overnight. You don't plant something today and dig it up tomorrow to check if it's working. But that's exactly what people do with their dreams. They work for a few days, a few weeks, maybe a few months. And when they don't see results, they stop. Not realizing they were one step away from growth. One more push away from progress. One more week away from momentum. One more effort away from breakthrough. But they quit too early. Don't make that mistake. Because breakthroughs don't announce themselves. They don't send a message saying, "Keep going, you're close." No. They come suddenly. After a long period of nothing. That's why it feels like magic to outsiders. But to you, it's the result of all the days you didn't quit. So if you feel like nothing is happening, good. That means something is building. Let's be honest though. This journey will test you in ways you didn't expect. It will test your confidence. There will be days you doubt yourself completely. Days you feel like you're not good enough. Days you compare yourself to others and feel like you're falling behind. And comparison? It's one of the fastest ways to kill a dream. Because you're comparing your beginning to someone else's middle, your struggle to someone else's highlight. You don't see their failures. You don't see their sacrifices. You don't see how long it took them. You only see the result. And that makes you feel late. But you're not late. You're just early in your own process. Stay in your lane. Focus on your growth. Because the only person you need to beat is who you were yesterday. Not anyone else. And yes, there will be people who don't understand your vision. People who doubt you. People who question you. People who even laugh at you. Let them. Because people will always have opinions about things they don't have the courage to do. Their doubt is not your reality. And one day, the same people who questioned you will ask you how you did it. But only if you don't quit now. This is the turning point. This is where you stop relying on motivation and start building identity. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be successful," start saying, "I am someone who doesn't quit." Instead of saying, "I hope I stay consistent," say, "I am consistent." Because when your identity changes, your actions follow automatically. You don't negotiate with yourself anymore. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't depend on mood. You just do the work. And that's powerful. Because motivation comes and goes, but identity stays. So build that identity. Piece by piece. Day by day. Become the type of person who finishes what they start. Because once you become that person, no dream is out of reach. Not because it's easy, but because you've become unstoppable. And here's the truth most people realize too late. It was never about the dream itself. It was about who the dream turned you into. Stronger, sharper, more disciplined, more focused. The dream is just the destination. But the journey? That's the transformation. So don't rush this phase. Don't hate this phase. Don't try to escape this phase. This is where you're being built. And one day, you'll be grateful you didn't quit here. Because this moment, this exact stage where most people walk away, is the moment you decided to stay. And that decision? That's what changes everything. One day. Not today. Not tomorrow. But one day, you're going to wake up and realize something has changed. The same work that once felt heavy feels normal. The same discipline that once felt hard feels automatic. The same doubts that once controlled you have gone quiet. And you'll sit there for a moment and think, when did this happen? It didn't happen overnight. It happened on the days you didn't feel like showing up. But you showed up anyway. It happened on the days you wanted to quit. But you kept going anyway. It happened in silence. In struggle. In moments no one ever saw. That's how real transformation works. Quiet. Invisible. Powerful. And then, one day, the results start speaking. The opportunities come. The progress becomes visible. The life you once imagined starts becoming real. And people will look at you and say, "You're lucky." But you'll know the truth. They didn't see the nights you questioned everything. They didn't see the mornings you forced yourself to continue. They didn't see the moments you almost gave up. But didn't. They didn't see this stage. The stage where most dreams quietly die. But you survived it. And that's why you made it. Because success isn't about being the smartest. It's not about being the most talented. It's not even about having the best plan. It's about endurance. It's about who can stay in the game long enough to win. And you did. But let's make something clear. This moment right now, this is your defining moment. Not when you succeed. Not when people clap. Not when the results come. Right now. Because right now, you have two choices. You can walk away. Go back to comfort. Go back to average. Go back to a life that feels safe, but empty. Or, you can step forward. Into uncertainty. Into effort. Into growth. Into the life you once said you wanted. No one is coming to force you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to chase your dream for you. This is on you. And that might sound heavy. But it's actually powerful. Because it means it's also in your control. You get to decide. Right here. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now. Will you be another story of a dream that faded away? Or will you be the exception? Will you be the person who almost made it, but stopped? Or the person who kept going, no matter what? Because years from now, you will remember this moment. You'll remember the feeling, the doubt, the pressure, the choice. And you'll either say, "I'm glad I didn't quit," or, "I wish I didn't quit." There is no in-between. So if there's even a small part of you, a quiet voice inside you, still saying, "Keep going," listen to it. Because that voice, that's your future calling you. Don't ignore it. Answer it. Stand up. Refocus. Reset. And take one more step. Not a perfect step. Not a big step. Just one step forward. Because that's all it takes to restart momentum. And once you move, you're back in the game. And once you're back in the game, everything is possible again. Your dream isn't dead. It's waiting. Waiting for you to decide that you're not done yet. So decide. Decide that this is not the end of your story. Decide that you will not be average. Decide that you will finish what you started. Decide that your dream matters. And then prove it. Not with words. Not with promises. With action. Daily. Consistent. Unstoppable action. Because in the end, dreams don't belong to the most talented. They belong to the ones who refuse to quit. And if you can make it through this stage, this quiet, invisible, painful stage, then there's nothing left that can stop you. Fire, so keep going. Fire, keep building. Fire, keep showing up. Because one day, your life will be the proof that you didn't let your dream die here.